Hello everyone, a new patch. It's had a week to simmer, so now I'll get to it because we've had a few balance patches as well afterwards, so it should be fine to rest now and talk about. Pretty cool patch. It actually addresses a lot of the issues that I've had with the game, and the games I've had the past week have been super good and super fun. So I'm curious how you've all been receiving this patch. If you have anything you want to share, please share it in the comments. I would love to hear how you're all feeling about it, but let's get into it. So first of all, they've added a new piece, Lifestealer, a Kobold Undead Wizard. Now, he's a 2-cost, and they also made Abaddon a 1-cost. And let's just get straight into what this means for Undead. This means that rolling 1-cost and rolling Wyvern is harder, because you have Abaddon as well. Now, Abaddon is quite good. Abaddon is a really strong 1-cost, and a strong piece overall. Makes it a little bit harder to fish specifically for Winter Wyvern. And I think specifically, Lifestealer is an interesting unit because he allows you to go for 2-cost while you're playing Undead and scale into a strong board super fast. Like if you get 2 Lifestealers, you will get a 3rd Lifestealer because of the Kobold 1 synergy, which works really well. Also, having a Wizard Undead means that you can cheat some really good boards later on. So, super cool piece, super weird piece. I like Lifesteal and I like what they're doing with it, but I will also say this sort of unit, such as Lifesteal, doesn't strike me as a unit that's gonna stay Kobold Undead Wizard forever, because the synergies are so fucking weird. So let's enjoy it as long as we can. I think it works out well. Necrophos Scythe has been nerfed, but they've given him Heartstopper Aura. I've played with this. It doesn't seem to do too much, to be honest, but I guess it does do something. I haven't seen like huge impacts of this, but I mean, I tried to play 6 Warlock around this. It didn't seem to do shit. And then they nerfed Wraith King and they nerfed Spectre, and they nerfed them again later on. So, very importantly, they changed how Kobold works, and I'll make it very simple for you. The old 2 Kobold, that was with Meepo, where the Meepo would travel, the Meepo would transform into another unit that had the same tier. That's gone. That is now 3 Kobold. The old 1 Kobold, where if you play 2 Kobold pieces, they will duplicate any piece you have 2 of, right? That is now 2 Kobold. That means you can't just play Arc Warden and trigger summoning copies of your pairs. You need to play Meepo as well. And what 1 Kobold does is it triggers when you have 2 identical Kobold pieces, you will summon a 3rd of the Kobold piece. Arc Warden triggers this himself, so you only need to play 1 Arc Warden to duplicate your items. But Meepo, you need to play 2 Meepos. Doesn't really change much, except that the Kobold synergies have kind of been scaled back a little bit. Overall, strong change, good change. This nerfs Arc Warden a lot, which is really important. Yeah, I actually feel like this is an incredibly good change, because playing Arc Warden boards now are it's a lot harder, because you need that extra unit to play a Meepo, and the Meepo isn't doing it. Overall, great change from Droto. Love this. Hope they see more of this. They haven't killed off Arc Warden, but they've made him significantly weaker, and I think this is an incredible change. Pandaras now have a bad luck comfort as Pandaren 1. Possibility increases gradually before pandas dropped. So 1 panda used to have this before, where the chances were slightly increased the longer you went without a drop. Now it also works for 2 panda. Great. Static cap has been changed. The way it works now is that, I'll read it, a non-undead carrier has a 50% chance to be reborn into an undead piece of the same rank, level, and victory restriction removed. This means that you don't need to win rounds anymore, and you don't care, like your unit can be a fucking Arc Warden 2-star, and it will be transformed into Spectre, Necrophos, or Wraith King 2. Overall, a cool change. They've also changed this a little bit. I'll get back to that later on. It makes it harder to play Undead in the sense that you can't just get a good run, be strong in the lobby, and then just keep converting units. Because sometimes you'll play 5 rounds, 6 rounds, and you won't get a single Undead. That can be really punishing. The off chance, like the other side of this is that you can sometimes just use Cap on like a Lone Druid 2 and then you get Lich 2, or you use it on Lesh 2 and then you get Spectre 2 or Necrophos 2 or Wraith King 2. So you can transition into an undead board much quicker. I actually think getting Cap on 15 be really strong, especially if you have an IO or Leshes in, because you can pretty quickly transition into a good board. And the nice thing is you just need to roll 2 cost before you find your good units, because 2 cost both has Venge and Nikes, which both enable super strong boards. Really cool. Yeah, here they buffed Knights, buffed Troll, nerfed Lich, nerfed Wraith King, nerfed Spectre, buff Undying, buff Drow, buff Muerta, buff Lifestealer, and buffed Blade Mill. Good changes. Lunar Troll is going to be stronger. Good changes to the Undead. And then the second balance patch, there's not too much more to talk about here. Second balance patch, they made it so that the cost varies, or like the chance varies based on the cost. So 1 cost units have a higher chance, 80%, compared to lower cost 5 cost units who have a lower chance, 40%. And then they made a change to Marcy, which is good. I'm not sure this is good enough. I mean, no, it's not good enough. But this is enough to Marcy, I think. So what they did is they increased the damage, but they also increased the radius, but they decreased the number of strikes. So you might say, oh, this is a crazy damage increase. Yes, but removing 1 strike is also a damage decrease because you have 1 less hit, right? And then it takes longer for her to do the strikes. She used to do the strikes over 1.75 seconds. Now she does it over 2 seconds. I'm not sure how this really works in like if it's a huge nerf to Marcy. I think they're trying to do minor Marcy nerfs. I would still love to see Monk synergy probably changed, or Monk not working on items, for example, would also be good. But they're trying to work with Marcy at least, which is good. Even if it doesn't do what we wanted to do, they're trying to do something. Then they buffed Dark Warden, health increase, lower base attack time, and the attack range increase. So this is because they see that people are playing Arc Warden less, and they want to buff Arc Warden. I think this is. And then they buffed the Lifesteal as well. To talk about the patch, I think one thing Drodo needs to realize is that when they nerf counters to Marcy, for example, they buff Marcy. So when they hear nerf Undead and they nerf Arc Warden, they buff Marcy. Like this patch, this was a Marcy buff, all of this. I do like it that it seems like Marcy is on their radar and they're trying to work with it. I do like the Undead change. I still think Undead is really strong, but it's going to be less, oh my god, someone got rolling early with Undead. How am I ever going to beat him later? I think you have a little bit more chance to do it now, especially since the 5 cost pieces are a little bit weaker. Yeah. I haven't seen too much Night Troll, but like this is a pretty huge troll buff that you get 1 extra stack. The Night change here is also pretty huge. Overall, just honestly, a small patch, but really, really, really good changes. I wonder if we're going to see another patch soon, because this was released on the 18th of September. So, like 1 week ago. So, I don't think we're going to get a patch in a week. So, we're probably going to get a patch in a month or so, which is fine. Yeah, small patch. Hope everything made sense. I'm going to answer one question that I get asked a lot, just because in case any of you are asking this or like wondering. The reason you play Hoodwink and Sense Elementals is because Acorn Shot buffs positive synergies. Okay, it gives a positive synergy and 100% chance of triggering. This means that your hunters will always, sorry, not your hunters, played in Sense Elementals. Your sins will always crit on the targets that get hit by Acorn Shot. Means that Elemental will always trigger. This is why you play Hoodwink and Sense Elementals now. I'm saying this because I get asked this a lot. Overall, I'm enjoying the patch. I'm playing some good games. It's good fun. If you want to hang around, you can watch me on YouTube when I stream, or you can watch me on Twitch when I stream, or you can watch the YouTube bots, which have all of the games I play. in them. I will try to get back to posting YouTube videos as well. Yeah, be around. Hey.